so that I can have my chat over as an overlay in the stream,
Yeah.
which Ringo didn't seem to know how to do.
Just thing called stream elements, right?
What?
This thing called stream elements, right? Or you pop out the chat and you make that a window.
Uh, maybe Claire said it was something in OBS.
I mean, you can literally pop out the chat in Twitch in the Twitch little thing, and then use that as a window source for your data.
Hmm.
I imagine that OBS probably also has its own built-in things. There's also the thing called Stream Elements I talked about that I think handles all that. It can also handle donations. Gosh. Well, as I mentioned in the Como and You thing, so I've been reading some adventures of the days of yore, back when good old Paizo used to produce 3.5 content. And man, there's something that is different, and I don't like it. and I think, and I think that part of my problem is that Paizo tends to approach it from a very simulationist, not from a simulationist. They approach it from a very gamist perspective of these are encounters because players want to fight and use their cool things. These are moments where they get to roll the dice and do a good thing. It never feels like environment, situations, and circumstances, and here's some things that might happen, I guess.
How do you think they've changed on that over the years? Have they gotten better?
They've gotten worse, Paizo, at least. And WotC has also gotten worse, but in like a different way. But I think that this kind of content is kind of dying out in a special kind of way, where the question isn't. The problem is that Paizo likes to build bumpers that make sure you can't cheese things too easily. Because again, they. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like they want to do combat as war as like a concept, but on just combat as sport, please, please go fight the monsters. Go use your sword, stab them, and that's why everything fights to the goddamn death. And when I read about an NPC, they get all this backstory, and I'm like, okay, listen, I've got a 3.0 adventure here that was made in the year fuck. I'm old. It takes like what a few lines to make sure. Oh, the bad guy, he and his cult are doing this because they are dissatisfied with the situation around them. I'm like, okay, cool. So if the players are like, hey, how about we fix things? I'll know. He might be persuaded by that. But he won't be persuaded by something that's just like, we're here to enforce the status quo. You're doing mean things, meanie. I don't get that with Paizo Adventures because everyone is such a fucking clown. And the irony is that while technically 3.5 tends to stick to alignment a bit more strongly, it also gives creatures the freedom to just say, I don't know. Paizo wants to,
3.5 is where we got like,
but I'm
you know,
gonna listen.
what is
I'm,
it?
I'm not gonna say that doesn't have a place in the world because I like 13th Age and I like 4E, and those are by far the most. Let's go have a fucking movie of the games out there. But Paizo pussyfoots around it, and I hate that. I hate it so much.
So you want them to commit.
You
If
can't
we're gonna go
halfway
smoothly, just
this.
commit.
The problem is that the middle of the spectrum is an awkward place to be. Imagine if the two opposites are, gosh, the opposite, the middle ground between darkness and light is a flashing light. The middle ground isn't very pleasant to be in. If it flashes slowly, you can live with it. If it flashes quickly, you might not even notice, like with fluorescent tubes. But there's an awkward middle ground that they're trying to occupy where they're both technically about the agency of play, but it's also very much about. It just feels like I need to bring out the actual tabletop game. Like it's undermining agency. And the. I don't know. I don't know. There's something. I'm going to come to a whole different opinion by the end of this, but there's something here, and I'm thinking about it a lot.
Sorry, the way you explained the fluorescent tubes, I just got a secondhand headache thinking about them.
Well, lucky you, they don't. They don't. They're not annoying here. I've never noticed it.
Yeah, I've had them pretty bad in certain places I've been. Just they have that little
Oh
humming
my god.
noise.
I can't stand that little kobold running off. Why do they have a fucking chest of gold in their house?
Or else they gotta keep
Because
you
I
cold.
mean, they're probably bakers. I know why would bakers have a chest of gold? Maybe they're smiths.
If
There
they,
you go.
the problem that I have with that fucking casket of money, gold pieces. These are probably people who make a living. Why do they have a chest of gold pieces? I don't know. This doesn't look like people who make a living because their lower floor is in the store, any sort of workshop by the looks of it. Or they wouldn't use a plain ass door.
That's the
I-
swear jar.
God damn it.
Oh, that could be it.
That's a swear
kobold
jar when Bella's around.
The kobold is upset that he has to put coins in the chest every time he comes by, so he took the chest. And then he
Swearing
said a
fuck
swear.
runs. Heck. He grabs the chest and runs.
Yeah, that was the biggest curse he knew. It was as big as him.
Heck. All right. How about we wrap this book up because I'm not dealing with this. Like, that's also part of the equation, right? Is that it feels like a lot more filler. A lot of filler, no killer. Whereas that 3.0 module I got, it's like all... Here's just fun, cool things that happen. Here's all moments your players get to do something and go like, ha. And then it's like, this is a guy you're going to fight. Well, you don't have to fight him. Here's how you, the GM, know what they want if you don't want to fight them or have them fight. The players are weenies and they can't fight like idiots. It's great. I feel empowered. I feel strong. Also, I found a module that's like outside of that, which very much tries to ape the idea of Red Hand, which, you know, fuck, who cares? It's a bunch of monsters invade a valley, or a bunch of monsters are in a valley and trying to kick them out. Fair enough. Although it takes a
Right,
different
sometimes
approach.
You just gotta.
Now that I think about it, it's way more a proto version of Kingmaker because it tries to do the same sort of civilizing an uncivilized area. Although, as I mentioned against Como, some of the diplomacy could use some serious work because don't like that. Don't like that one bit. That does not feel like an actual engagement between two parties with differing interests. That just feels like roll your diplomacy. Like pulling a fucking slot machine. Oh god, someone has. So in the Rauko server, I showed you this because I wanted Como's opinion on it because I know that he played Echo Knight. Someone is like, hey, my GM thinks Echo Knight's strong. And
I don't
someone
know
give
about Echo Knight.
it's a funny boy who gets to make a clone of himself. He gets to make a shadow clone basically. He can teleport to him. He can use him for attack for opportunity range determinations and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. One thing I do want to steal from 13th Age for that 3.5 game is to steal the movement mechanics a bit because I like them a lot more. Let's just say that after having to resize a whole bunch of fucking maps every single day, I'm kind of sick and tired of grids. And I want a game that's just like, hey, your players move to the place, and your move actions used for different things. I like that idea. I'm going to sit on that for a bit. Also think you'll like it a bit more, because it takes out some of the ingrained complexity while keeping the fun. Alright. I'm going to clap into the microphone, because that's a good thing to do. Man, this is such a all-filler, no-killer book, huh? Like, every day I think about this fucking book 4, and I'm like, So what do you get to do? Well, you get to clear out a dungeon that has nothing to do with the siege or anything you're trying to do, except tangentially. You get to clear out a house, a gambling house that's full of people that technically have nothing to do with the siege or anything. And then you get to go to the siege, and it's just a bunch of disparate encounters sprinkled all over the place. Like some guy took like a syringe full of experience out of the experience vat and went, I need to spread it around this much. And he went, squirt, 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 until it was done. And that's just terrible. Just like stealing 40 pies.
40 cakes.
God damn it. Outsmarted me again, Lex
Quote
Luthor.
Right.
Lex Luthor outsmarted me again.
And that's terrible.
As much as 4 tens.
God, I remember when I first showed Ringo that back when I was in college, and he fucking died on call.
I personally like putting emphasis on the wrong part of sentences. Like that's as much as 4 tens. It's not the part you should be emphasizing.
I mean, technically, those days it kind of was, because that was how they thought children's reading education should work. It was the C-spot run style. You know, I say, you say, that's it. We're done. Shut up. And so their sentences are really clunky.
Also, if I get half my level in physical resistance at level 15, am I getting 7 or am I getting 8?
But what? I was reading
How
the...
does it round when you get physical resistance? Up or down?
You generally speaking round down. But
Okay,
you
so
usually have a
7.
minimum of 1 to compensate.
Okay. So I have 9 physical resistance, not 8. Just updating.
I know that
Wait,
angry at
what?
Hmm?
Well,
Huh?
you said it's half your level, right?
Yeah, +2.
Oh, +2. Okay. I didn't hear the +2. I apologize.
Well, I didn't say the +2. I was just asking about the halving. See?
I recall that a lot of people gave angry shit because you made the tension pool system, and the tension pool system works off of hours, and everyone's like, isn't it weird that right around the full hour, there's usually more time for trouble because that's usually when the pool's full and you roll the whole thing. And the counter argument to that is that in a lot of systems, even levels are weirdly the point where everyone gets slightly more resistant compared to uneven levels where they stagnate. It's almost as if you need to get your heads out of your ass, kids.
It's almost like these things are an abstraction instead of a hard, fast rule. It's not like things always show up exactly at noon.
You know, I think that's also part of what I don't like about these things. Is that I understand providing DCs for things, but what I don't like about that other one is that it says the players get to make a fun speech and then they roll the diplomacy check. And all I can think about is that's not how that's supposed to work at all. That is you saying to the GM how to adjudicate this action. Even though, by definition, if they present a good argument or they have a good negotiation tactic or they're just, they burn down half the village and they're like, you're going to leave us alone or we're going to come back. I love it. I love it. Action adjudication. It's great. Point is, let's get to it. You have, last time, I think you cleared out the whole place. You sent those nice boys home. You got yourself a nice violin for your troubles, if I recall correctly. Those are the things you got.
You got a violin. Heck yeah.
Don't know what you're going to do with it, but hey, got it. You still have the key to the ringmaster's wagon. You probably shouldn't have given that back when you left the circus. But
Yeah,
it.
we've been going on that for a while. It's kind of weird.
Listen, when I've been going through and clearing out the loot bag each time, I'm like, that's probably important. I shouldn't delete that.
I personally
Yeah, it's a
Just
quest
leaving it
marked
there.
item.
would love it if you open the lock and it's like, this key is useless today. Just drop it. Like in video games.
Or worse,
I
it's
still
like
have
you're...
the rat. I still have the rat hood from the Druids we first killed.
I still have all the stuff from the temple we went into.
Bella, it's a cool hood. Bella, it's a cool hood.
Cash.
Bella, for
Oh,
fuck's
yeah.
sake, invest in your items. Your Cloak of Elven Kind doesn't work if you don't invest in it.
Oh.
Wait, does it apply now? Because you're stealth. Why do you even have the Cloak of Elven Kind?
I don't, because I'm an elf.
Fair enough. But unfortunately, this is not the kind of system where a +6 stealth check's going to get you anywhere at this point. But hey,
It's a cool cloak.
it is a cool cloak. Alright. Alright. Oh no, now I permanently have the buff icon on here. That's great. Live with it. Gosh. Well, in the meantime, your companions were on the scouting and the siege breaking, as it were. They found a lot. They found a lot. There's guys on all kinds of dinosaurs walking around. Tyrannosaurus rexes, brontosauruses. They met a whole bunch of those gugs and roadside blockades. There's a lot going on. Not to mention there's the Welt. The big old wasteland that's slowly but surely spreading around. Gosh, I
Probably not good.
can't. I just don't know how to feel about the Vanish Man. It's like,
The Vanished Man.
so I'm just gonna read it to you because I think this is just like perfectly exemplifies my problem with how Paizo sometimes write these, especially considering all the fucking filler book. The Vanish Man lurks along the pier road, watching traffic from the other side of a shrub-covered hill. He doesn't normally bother with anyone going to the pier, so if you go there, it's fine. But if you go the other way, ooh. There's just a random serial-killing monster hanging out in the area. Gotcha. Nothing to do with anything. He's just there. And I'm like, and I understand that it's fine, it's fun. But it feels a bit facetious in the middle of a siege. Point is, kids, your friends have managed to figure something out for you. That besides the dinosaur corrals, they're building a big siege tower. And they're almost very likely going to use it on the, what is it called again? The Aeon Tower, that's the name. That's what those big chunky boys are called.
Oh.
It's been a little while since we've seen one.
Get a load of this goddamn siege tower. And tell me that's good news.
That's good
It's
news.
got spikes.
Nice.
Just a whole bunch of horns strapped to it haphazardly.
Look, sometimes you gotta try really hard to look cool.
That's also a thing that kind of frustrates me about. Oh God, look at this. Look at this. This fucking one-off character apparently gets his own goddamn picture.
Oh yeah, that was the Meat Man.
Oh, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for what the ziggurat looks like in this area. No, wait, that's the Glutton Dark. That's like the underground.
It's a different ziggurat.
We're dealing with a lot of them lately. Sorry.
Like the Abaddon one in the other game, for some
This is-
reason.
This is the one.
Oh, it's a tall one.
Gosh, you're right. Abadar phone was also a cursed.
I don't know why that one was a ziggurat, but it was.
Anyway, they're planning to do a siege on the Tower of Empty Stones. They probably won't have much time until they decide that the tower doesn't contain what they want, and they'll turn their attention to the town itself.
Oh,
Well,
then
we should probably go do some stomping then.
we gotta somehow deal with that.
I mean, we're planning to stop this whole siege anyway. Get some experience, get some
Yeah.
money, which, to be honest, is the best excuse you can give for the players being here at all. I just don't know how to feel
Pockets
about it,
were
man.
Feeling a little bit empty at 11.
So why do you want to save the town? The money.
Tax evasion.
Tax evasion. Yeah,
You
I
know,
can find that one.
you can. Well, what's it called again? You can deduct from your taxes any earnings you made, looting and shooting monsters.
I mean, we're traveling.
This is all
performers. Do we
tax
pay
deductible
taxes?
charity work.
Yeah, charitable income.
We're part of a traveling circus. Do we even have to pay taxes?
Not if
Look,
you're clever
oh,
about
We
it.
don't.
Avatar will kill us if we say we don't.
Listen, we already hate Abaddon. What's the worst he can do to us?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Abadar isn't really a fan of us either at this point.
Who's like the closest god in 3.5? Lawful neutral. I want to laugh my ass off at whoever it is. So here's the funny part about the PHP that I just don't know how to feel about is that if you want to look up gods, you have to go specifically to classes, and then you have to go to the cleric, because the cleric is the one who has to know about the gods, so he gets the whole little fun god table. Love me a god table. Here we go. Who on this is lawful neutral? You have Weas, the goddess of death and magic,
We
and they have Saint Cuthbert, the god of retribution. Wow, those sure sound like people I would want to hang out with.
Yeah, just barrel of laughs.
Balk up the god of magic. We got the god of roads. I guess he would be neutral because he doesn't give a shit. Roads are roads, right?
Yeah, you can do anything on a road. There's no rules.
Oh, he's also of travel, so he's like, yeah, you know, luck of the draw. I guess they would be neutral. God of nature, god of thieves, chaotic neutral. Not even evil, just chaotic neutral. Like, hey, listen, you can be Robin Hood, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You can be Robin Hood, Robin the Hoods.
So for lawful good, we have, of course, god of the halflings, god of the dwarfs, and god of beating people's asses. Real good, like valor. Gosh, I love how the worshippers are just like, oh, they can be paladins, they can be dwarfs, they can be halflings, they can be necromancers, you know. Here's who think these guys are cool. For neutral good, we have the god of the woodlands, and the god of the gnomes, and the god of the sun. AKA later becomes Serenray. But I like that there's no goddamn Abadar in there, because it doesn't make sense.
No god of capitalism.
Doesn't belong there. Kids, the news is grim. A town meeting is called by Solace. The most important people in town attend, who aren't significant, because this town, who fucking cares? It's literally a baby town compared to who you are. If people ask, why do high-level adventurers not bother with this? It's because the local economy cannot support your need for healing potions. They don't have the money to buy your cool shit. It's an economic disaster to hire high-level patrons, besides the fact you can't afford their services.
Yeah, like everything we own is like more than 1,000 gold pieces each.
Everything you own could start a small village.
Yeah, like. It's
Abadar
expensive.
thinks this is fine. Don't worry about it. If the god of civilization says it, if the god of law says it's probably good. I like that on the other side there's also Mechanus. Ugh. Ugh. But they made it into a plane of Axis, which I don't know. I don't think Abadar should be there. I think like some weird god of just like the laws of physics should be in there. I would
Like
love
the
that.
perfect cube.
I think too few settings take that fun idea of like you have the lawful neutral god who is the god of physics and the laws of nature, and then on the other side you have chaotic neutral, which is the god of animals and habits and desires and everything, which is just like I want to do what I want, the whimsy. And then in the middle you have the sort of pseudo god that the two of them form. That'd be a neat idea. Never gonna see that though because people are fucking lame and only look god one god, woo, or twin deities, and they're usually lame. Instead of a fun twin deity that has a pseudo primary. Ugh. Fun ideas.
Too busy porting in old gods and Egyptian gods for some reason.
Don't forget that Egypt is canon in two ways, in both the fact that there's Earth and the fact that there's Egyptian town on Galarian. What a great planet. The point is that the town meeting isn't exactly very optimistic. Solace Creek believes they have less than a day or two before they'll finish up their siege machine and drive it straight into that tower. At which point, according to what he's saying, once you translate his weird gobbledygook, things going to be bad. He says that the strong impression that this town cannot put up a meaningful resistance.
Well.
If you wonder why, it's because I don't think, for the life of me, that a bunch of level 1 townies, even if they're trained up to level 5, are going to put up any meaningful resistance to level 10 and up just bastards. They're going to slam right through this place.
If we wandered in there, we'd slaughter the whole town.
Yeah, on our own, like one person.
Alora is awkwardly built for that.
Even Alora.
Yeah, the and could do it.
Hey, Desna, you want to blow up a town?
Follow your dreams, kid.
You're chaotic, Desna. Sometimes you got to blow up a town.
I mean, just thinking about it, yeah, like with my distance and range, I could kill off tons of them before they even got to us.
I mean, you're a sniper, so you're by definition the picker, which means you go after the big singular targets, while the rest take care of the weenies.
Yeah, plus all my explosive arrows.
Unfortunately, a few of my things don't work on good people.
Listen. All you have to do is say hi. Just phone up an evil god and go like, "Hey, listen, I need to kill a town. Can we just do like a small 1 week loner program?"
Look,
Oh,
I
no,
want
I
to do
think
an
one of the hero-
internship with your organization.
I think one of the hero point rules I keep forgetting is that you can spend a hero point to negate the resistance of something.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work though with the good thing because that's not resistance so much as that's a facet of the ability.
Yeah, that's just, it doesn't work.
Gosh, now there's the whole train of thought that I want to get into. However, there is good news besides everything else. Because they're so close to their plans reaching full fruition, they're also preparing their military, which means their leader will almost certainly be at that siege tower when things are going to go down, which also means tomorrow, as they make their inspections and round up for the day. The downside is you will almost certainly be fighting some of their toughest dudes, will be protecting their most vital asset. I, thinking about it, have no fucking clue what the siege tower is actually for.
Yeah, like this place doesn't look like it has walls.
Yeah, I don't know what it's... I don't see any entrances that siege tower is meant to...
Look, these guys, they're new. They're really proud of the siege tower. Don't be mean.
Like, even Willowside doesn't have a... Why did they make a siege tower, anyway?
They're
Yeah,
very proud of it.
They might not have scattered ahead.
Okay, I'm
They
gonna...
might thought, like,
I'm-
oh, human city. it has
Just
walls.
give me a hot fucking minute. I'm gonna take a look. Let's see if it mentions what the siege tower is for. Reaching the siege tower at the heart of the Zolgath encampment is a daunting task. There are hundreds of warlike Zolgath here, but because they're either high enough level that they'll automatically just slay the players by attrition, or so low level that you don't give a shit. Thanks, Pathfinder, for making that a balancing issue. Oh my goodness. Inflame rivalries. Okay, where is it? Zolgath encampment. The main Zolgath, blah, blah, blah. Oh gosh, they're set up inside the Welt? Ugh. Then why are all these The Zolgath encampment is set inside the Welt, yet they use maps that are so fucking green.
Yeah, look at that wasteland.
Dead. Nothing grows here. Just some trees and shrubbery and also grass.
In this idyllic looking little clearing.
Oh no, it's not loading. For me, at least.
None of the camps are within a quarter mile of the Tower of Empty Stones. That's fair enough.
Probably 'cause
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't explain any of that, and there is a map. There is one map which features the tower in some condition, and there's still no reason for that siege tower to be there. Unless it's so tall that it goes all the way to the top of the building, but I don't think that's the case. I don't know what it's for, I'm sorry. They just built one because I guess someone thought it was cool.
Again, they're very proud of it. It took a lot of work.
It's just what their cars look like.
I guess they got bored and they just started making one and no one really thought about it. Like, I showed you the picture. That thing is not that tall.
This is the equivalent of them putting you on the fridge. Someone gets to look at it.
Yeah, their leader's nephew made it in arts class.
Wait a minute. There's like sheep on that siege tower picture, and I think those are just that's just a picture of some sheep. Oh, I love it.
It's just sheep.
What's even better is that the two Zolgath in the background are obviously just copy pasted and then flipped.
Yeah, that's for sure. Just separate art they've just dumped in there.
I'm losing my goddamn shit here, Bison. What are you doing to me?
I love it. This stupid, pointless siege tower. It's
They're
generic
so
big ass.
proud of it. I mean, in that one, it looks a bit more like a wasteland. At least it's not surrounded by fucking trees.
Yeah.
Well, the idea, the plan is simple. 3 of your companions are going to be causing a whole bunch of trouble. So that you'll have a distraction to slink on over to the center and take down that big boss lady. Or whoever's in charge.
we don't know the gender yet.
Take off the Hydra's head, as they say. Don't forget that the
Wait,
big...
isn't that a bad plan?
Don't forget... Fine, take off the dragon's head. Dragons can't live without a head.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, dragons need those.
It is Dungeons and Dragons. I have to use more dragon metaphors.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons.
No, it's Path...
What's he
Excuse...
know?
It's
What's he know?
Pathfinder. I need to make more path metaphors.
We're playing hallways and hide.
Cut off the trailhead. I know what I'm doing.
I'm sure.
Crumshing.
Yeah. We should make a plan. Make a move.
As mentioned,
Murder.
Solace thinks it's the best idea would be to send out 3 to just cause some ruckus and give you a back way in. And from there, once you've arrived, get in contact with the leader. Figure out what they want. Because as you know, the Zolgath here aren't really Zolgath. They are under control of some secondary party. Their boss undead and everything. I think Tasala told you all about that.
Yeah, there was like a necromancer lady that's puppeting the leader. Like, by extension, everyone else.
Marvelous.
Like, hit her really hard until she stops moving.
So the usual plan.
Or hope that I can blind her in one hit.
I mean, that's always the fun move, ain't it? Incapacitate. I like Incapacitate. I like that they made Incapacitate and then everyone started to realize that it was kind of a problem in search of a solution in search of a problem. Because the numbers already work out that way. And they already made a system where you can upgrade results. Hell! You know what you could do, Pathfinder? You know what you could do, Paizo? That's a little less cheeky. Is you could just say that unless they roll a 1, they treat any critical failure as a failure. Which is already never going to happen because they're a high-level creature. But it's better ways to do this. The point is... Why the fuck does this guy have coward... What the fuck? Coward sense. I'm not kidding. There's a... just looking through the book, and there's a guy with coward sense.
Yeah, he knows if you're a pussy.
He knows if you're a fucking nerd. Here we go. His disgust for cowardice is so powerful that he can detect the presence of fighting creatures even if he can't see them. He can smell fear.
Tingling.
I mean, to be fair, this guy also has the powerful stench aura, so I guess he can smell fear, but not himself.
Yeah, he's used to his own scent.
God damn it. Well, at least you get some good laughs out of this. I mean, Letteric's already a lot of laughs without he does more damage if people can see him. Oh. What is Letteric at Juggernaut? So few NPC monsters ever use, like, the upgrade result thing. Oh! I mean, yeah, but the Zolcath does. He is, like, a super Juggernaut. Alright. Slap, slap, hands together.
Yeah, slap, slap.
Solace's idea. Everyone seems to agree. I mean, to be fair, it's not exactly like these APs really encourage any other source of solution. Very focused on getting you from A to B with no concern. Get through the content. Well, today we're not. We don't need to take care of the camp because you're not going to fucking murder a bunch of sort of innocent people. I mean, they've committed crimes.
Just being puppets.
They're puppets.
Yeah, we have friends with the Zolgath, kind of.
Do puppets deserve to suffer if their strings can be cut?
No.
That's not a fucking question. Paizo, making me
sometimes.
making me choose between hippies who want to destroy the entirety of human civilization because they're hippies and the Nazis is not a fun moral choice. It's also not a fun moral choice when one side is literally eating a child while I'm talking to them, and the other side is like, we must save everyone. It's like, goddamn, give me some fun moral choices. Point is, it's time to go, baby. Get yourself a nap. Give yourself a nice long rest.
I already did.
For tomorrow,
Oh, shoot.
we kill.
Charge up for full power.
Put on those fine resources. Don't forget to give Peppy a pap pap. It's gonna be a tough day for him.
Put a little helmet
Peppy
on him.
ready.
Safety first.
Like one of those yellow Japanese construction worker helmets.
Yeah, with a plus on him.
He's promoted to me tool. How lovely. Alright, which companion are you taking with you? Unfortunately, you cannot take Astrax with you because he definitely is going to be useful for keeping everyone busy since he has a dragon.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes
If
me
anyone-
sad to like Astrax.
Anyone
We
can
could take
do, like,
Solace.
Flyby. We
You
haven't taken him yet. And
We
I
also
think
could
he would
take
be a
that
good
lady.
choice, given we need a second frontliner. It pains me to say it, but I think he is probably the optimal choice.
Great, the siege is ruined. I'm not gonna have fun anymore.
He walks into the sea and all Zolgath are like, we're not putting up with this, and they leave.
Yeah,
You know what? I just don't even want to do this anymore.
collectively roll their eyes before he even opens his mouth.
Wait a minute, there's something I need to double check before we go too much further. Or maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, you are level 15. Okay, gotcha. I'm just the idiot here. Solace Creek is excited to be fighting with his good old compatriots in arms once more and hopes to redeem himself this time. Oh boy.
The target.
Anyone wants to jinx him a little more, take a chance. In addition,
I'm
Solace
happy with him failing.
would like to teach those no good people in the tower a little lesson. Because he doesn't like the fact that they are pretty much just, fucking about. Finding out. See, let me just get back to that whole Paizo really wants you to roll checks over everything else. One of the options for sneaking into the camp, which I imagine you would have thought of, if you're smart, is to agitate the animals. Why the fuck does this require a nature check? You want to know how you freak out an animal? You make an explosion, you get some fire near them, you kick open the gates and get wild and wily. A lot of it... Come on, this isn't a check.
Slap a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of us know how to just mess with a horse.
Especially Ruby.
It's way
God.
easier to aggravate an animal than it is to calm it down.
Like, I just like where it assumes like listen, if they try to sneak in, fair enough. If they try to get the guys to fight each other, fair enough. But come on, some things just work. They have other complications. Like now, there's a bunch of wild fucking animals running around indiscriminately. God damn it. They're so cowardly. They're so gamist. I hate it. It's fine when it's something like 13th Age of 4E because, again, they lean into it. You are the big fat heroes doing big fat hero things. And it even says that you should just let some things happen. Just let them. Who fucking cares? They're the heroes. They get to do that. Well, the point is, this map is too small for the encounter it tries to run. But that's just... I just get pissed off at that a lot. Which, with a lot of the maps that I have, is that they put the cool features near the edges, and I'm like, how am I supposed to use this feature for anything when it's all the way over here? Thanks. Oh man, that's a good construction hat.
A the safety bee.
Oh god, okay, this time I'm going to preempt the fact that I forgot to set the map to have universal lighting.
Teehee.
Listen, you'll laugh at me, and I'll feel like a big old dummy. And there's another problem with the siege tower, but that has mostly to do with, again, Pathfinder doesn't want you to mingle your encounters. But unfortunately, due to the way that this fucking map is put together, that's kind of a thing that just has to. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love how it just can't marry the two. Oh, I love how they stub their own toe in their own system. It's great. The point is, with a lovely distraction underway, animals running amok, fires getting started in places you don't want fires, and more, you make your way closer to the obscenely tall tower, whose purpose still eludes you. You can't imagine it's very useful to have some of your strongest men pushing a tower forwards that seems to have no discernible purpose. As you also imagine, the tower has its wheels set upon... I like that someone actually thought about this. Yes, you would probably want to put some big logs in front of those wheels so they don't roll off anywhere.
That would make sense.
The sensible chuckle. Approaching, you see a large bonfire, the biggest one around, and around it sit a few jolly men, and a large monster. There is no argument that that creature is up to something.
It's one of those dudes that was eating all the goldfish. Not the goldfish, the tadpoles.
Gosh, I don't know much variety here, huh? Yes. What's your move, kids? You don't see anyone who looks like a boss guy.
Well,
Uh,
either we rush in and have the risk of them coming around behind us, or we the incredibly stealthy crew of stealth masters sneak past and try to gun straight for the head of the snake.
well, I'm not all that stealthy.
None of us are.
Yeah, this team is a... We had another team party who was like... Yeah, that was the old 3.5 game where no one had survival, despite you being in the
Yeah,
wilderness.
with the one with the other people.
It's great.
But like, how do we track it? We just all shrug.
How do you just make it in the wild? Mm. All right, enough giggling. Stop laughing.
I could hit him with a divine ray.
I can shoot them.
I mean, yeah, if we're doing the full siege on the tower, we should probably, take out the front guards before they can alert anyone that we get here. It's not the most elegant thing in the world, and I would like to minimize casualties, but at the same time, we can't really take the risk.
We could also just talk to them. Do they look talkable?
Pretty sure they're like half mind controlled.
Well, not just half mind control. Don't forget the fact that the vast majority of these Zolgath they're basically soldiers. They are disgruntled, disenfranchised citizens who have been forced into a war that they don't fully understand, so... A lot of context and nuance is kind of lost on them.
Yeah, it would take a lot of explaining, and I don't think they're really in the mood to listen. Unless you want to give it a go, but in which case, by all means.
I think it can always
If
take a
someone
-2
wants
on an attack roll to make it non-lethal.
Yeah.
Does that work for spells too?
to. Yeah, you can knock them out. You whap them.
Actually, no.
think so. I think it has to like specifically list that it's not non-lethal with a spell.
Yeah, like. Unfortunately, I
Super
got rid of Admonishing Ray as a.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna say. Like, is an example.
Yeah, it's a -2 to make a lethal attack with a non-lethal weapon, and the other way around as well. But I don't think that can also apply to spells, but I'll look it up for you. Non-lethal attacks. Here you go. I found it nice and easy. You can make a non-lethal attack to knock someone out. You can also spells and other effects with a non. Okay. Yeah. Technically, it just says attacks, so I guess you can also do it with spells.
All right. Let's
Oh, it's
go
like-
big.
Don't think that applies in 5e. I think in 5e, spells always kill people.
It's a specific meta magic feat.
God damn it. But it says
Disappointingly.
attack roll. I guess saving throws fall outside of that, and that's what this feat is for.
Yeah.
Besides, you also
Probably.
you take a -2, and considering that spellcasters do not get bonuses to their attack rolls, they're already fucked. They don't want to take that.
Yeah. It's more than they can handle.
Well, Bella, there's maybe oh god, it's been a whole action to make a spell not kill someone. Really? Like what's?
It's probably as bad, if not worse, than taking a -2.
It's like Paizo really wants you to not talk to the NPCs because they know everything and they'll tell you too much. So they just make everyone always fight you to death. That way they can avoid the awkward conversation.
I don't want to write dialogue.
God damn it, I hate dialogue. It reminds me of home. Alright, well, their options are kind of minimal. I mean, I guess, don't forget, Bella, as long as you don't kill them, it's the last blow that does them in.
All right.
Wait, I might have an idea here.
Oh.
So we don't mind if we hurt them, right?
Yeah, that's probably inevitable at this rate.
Oh.
I've been holding on to this forever.
Pyrotechnics.
It's a 3rd level thing, so how well would that do?
You turn a fire into a burst of blinding fireworks or a thick cloud of smoke. We could use this to get around them.
Yeah, that'll
Alright.
work.
Yeah, just blind them. Well, temporarily.
I always love the text that he uses to describe how this works. Creatures within the smoke cloud take a -4 to visual perception checks, and creatures outside of the smoke cloud take a -4 to visual perception check to detect creatures or objects within it. What a mouthful to just say that it imposes a -4 check to any visual things done around it. So, what do you want to do with this big old bonfire? Because it is a big bonfire. Clickety click click clack
What I
clack.
want to do is I want to make it like explode into the fireworks to just get us around these people.
Let's see.
That's
the fireworks and
Noise,
that smoke.
light.
The first time you sustain a spell each round, you can cause the area to ascend. The what? Oh.
I mean, like, if you do the smoke, then they're still probably going to hear us go past.
Yeah, the fireworks are
fireworks
a
is-
full distraction.
Now,
Yeah.
now, Zyla, I've got some bad news for you. We're playing 2E, and unfortunately 2E is a very gamey system. You might notice that it mentions that it's very flashy. It doesn't make sense that it makes any sounds. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say that it makes no sounds at all, which makes no sense at all, but unfortunately that's how it's written. Sorry, but produce flame does not in fact produce light. God damn it, I love the produce flame doesn't produce light because they... Why are you so stupid, Paizo? Why? Oh, anyway, yes, fireworks make sound. That's what fireworks do.
It says explode.
But it doesn't deafen them, so it is implicitly not doing all that much sound. Oh, I'm kicking my legs at the air. Oh my god. What? Oh, it also extinguishes the fire source, huh?
Well, we're gonna ruin their camp out.
Why are you doing this?
Well, they shouldn't be camping here.
Now their chicken nuggets will never be the right temperature.
Just cooking a chicken nugget like a marshmallow over a fire.
Man, I would love to actually do that because it just sounds like a fun idea. Great way to get
It would take a
salmonella.
while. Yeah. Chicken nuggets take a while to cook.
They're also supposed to be deep fried, yes. Alright. I don't get pyrotechnics because if you think about it, the cloud and the fireworks technically do like very similar things in terms of incapacitating enemies somewhat with visual related effects. It's just kind of a thing. Kind of where the smoke cloud doesn't like cause people to heave and go. I mean, it makes them sickened, but you know what I've never seen that kind of surprises me is a smoke cloud that counts as difficult terrain because it makes it hard to move around. But I guess that's blinding and invisibility. But also just a smoke cloud that reduces your movement speed because you're just unable to breathe. Right? It's just not a thing you see often. It's always sickened and nauseating and all the. All right, big. And because it's such a big bonfire, I'm going to add another 10 feet to the radius. How big is the pyrotechnics normally? It is 20 feet. Yeah, okay, so it's like a 30 feet. Massive. Insert sound effects of choosing. There, a nice flashy fire ray. And now we get to roll their fort saves. I don't think it matters too much, though. They all are, like, reaching for their faces as they are very much not experiencing the positive side effects of fireworks. A few loose...
gives us time to run by.
A few small loose patches of grass catch fire. Nothing serious.
There you go.
Sala says that is a great way to capacitate the innocent. Let us move on. Clank, 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 clank.
The game is paused.
Yeah, the game is paused.
I always forget about
Now I
that.
can move.
Just like I forget about setting on global lighting. Going around the corner.
This is why I hoard things.
And you go around the corner, you see a few more individuals. They are led by a guy who definitely looks like he might be the big boss. Except that, unlike the big boss you were told about, who is dead, this guy looks very much alive. He's pointing his finger at a few nearby Zolgath who are taking orders from him. They take resources such as planks and hides and prepare them for use on the building behind them. Effectively, they're working on construction. As you can imagine, this makes a lot of noise and keeps them busy visually, so they don't immediately notice you, and they don't seem to care about the fireworks. What do you do?
So the goal is to break this thing. And potentially kill the boss.
I mean, your goal is to find whoever is controlling undead boss man.
Right.
Who we have a vague report that they're probably in the siege tower.
It would help if you had someone who could take their place afterwards, because don't forget, the siege probably isn't going to dissolve nicely. Turns out, large army of people who only know how to fight get hungry and start fighting everyone.
Yeah, and then it just turns into a big old mess.
Hold on, I need to look up a spell.
Solus raises his finger and begins to loudly and boisterously proclaim something.
Oh no.
We must take action now, for it is when good ties his laces that evil ties them together.
I have no idea what you're saying.
How long were you working on that one? Also, none of us are wearing shoelaces.
I might be. I'm in human form.
Odds are his metal clanky boots are like have like belts on the back to keep him to his feet.
Foo's got those Jordans.
Actually, wait, I got a plan that could work here. Oh, a spell that could be useful. If I take the time to cast it before they notice us.
What's that?
Horizon Thundersphere.
Our old friend,
Ah.
Horizon Thundersphere. What was your plan, Alora? we're looking something up.
Yeah, I take 10 seconds. I shoot a ball of lightning at them. And it explodes, dealing 2d6 lightning damage to all other creatures in 10 feet of them with a reflex save. I'm electrified.
It's not super impressive.
I dazzle the enemies if I succeed in the attack.
Wait, hold on. How many charges does a staff have?
It
Because
usually
I've never
says.
used. It does not.
Also, Dizzy, that 2d6 is in addition to all things, regardless of pass or fail.
Blah. A staff always has an amount of charge equal to your higher spell level.
Wait, so it has 2 charges?
Your highest
Or 8
spell
charges?
level, your highest spell level is 8, so it would have
Okay.
8 charges.
Okay.
You're, by the way, a spontaneous caster, so you expend a charge and a slot at the appropriate level to cast the spell. Prepared casters just get the spell out of there for free.
I'm also spontaneous.
Well, luckily scrolls
so
don't work like that.
I could do something that won't alert them to combat.
I mean,
Such as? Do I have a long time?
I can't put it into the chat because it's on the staff, but obscuring mist.
Obscuring mist.
Basically, there's
Let's
a 20 foot
see.
radius of mist.
Something I want to try. Obscuring mist. Can you use
Yeah, that one.
like this? You call forth a cloud of mist. All creatures within become concealed. All creatures outside become.
So the same thing as the smoke, but
it's smoke, but it doesn't make you sick.
Nice. Unfortunately, it is merely concealment. But you should probably figure out what you're gonna do.
I mean, I'm straightforward. All I do is really kind of rush him, and if we're avoiding combat, rushing him is probably a bad idea.
Okay, quick question. I just noticed it. Why the hell is Rauka suddenly playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Obby on Roblox?
Because apparently it's a limited time event thing, and because it's like a officially published.
This is a Jesus.
From the company, he has to do it now, and then he'll slot it into the numbers as soon as it gets to
This is so dumb.
appropriate date.
This is so dumb. Oh, ATS is something special.
Yeah. Probably skipping that video.
I just wonder if Rauka had a Roblox account beforehand or not.
Well, apparently he needed help downloading the thing and setting it all up.
Oh man, I don't know if this is any better or worse than some of those Flash games. In terms of overall what factor. Alright kids, the plan.
Yeah.
As mentioned, ahead of you seems to be an important looking fella who wields one hell of a hammer in one hand.
We might actually just need to take him down.
Let me just pull up his picture because I need to confer to you. One hell of a fucking hammer. Oh wow, the hammer is so special. It actually gets like a unique item picture on top of the fact that it's wielded by this guy.
Look at that thing.
You know, for a filler module, that's like 3 major NPC gazettes.
Wow, that hammer's bigger than I expected it would be.
It's called the Ankleo Star.
I guess it kind of looks like.
It is actually made from the fossilized tail club of a young ankylosaurus. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, those are typically more rounded, but sure.
Alright, goals to take him down?
I think we might have to. We're not exactly built to get around.
And if we don't, kill him, we can at least ask him, like, where's the boss?
Where's the boss?
You want to try to talk to him, Alora?
Like, if he speaks our language, that's also the issue.
Huh. I mean,
It's worth a try.
the smarter Zolgath have demonstrated the power to speak common, the knowledge needed.
Yeah.
And according to what Lady T mentioned, the leaders are usually the smart ones.
That's why they're leaders.
Yeah, if they hand out orders, they're probably capable of more than just yelling at you.
So let's
You go talk to him, Alora. I'll stay back here.
I'll kind of bodyguard you.
Alright. Should I use calm emotions on it?
Go.
Just to.
Just go in and try to talk.
Yeah.
Magic might get the others excitable.
Alright.
Actually,
Then.
before you make too many choices here, 120 feet is the range on calm emotions, in case you forgot.
Yeah. So I could do it from a distance.
A long distance, yes.
Yeah. So I could just see if he chills out, and if he doesn't chill out, then we just go for plan B.
You can do what you want. Although it's only sustained for up to 1 minute, so you pretty much have to run in there afterwards.
Yeah. So let's see how he does. Wha-bam.
Gosh, it's not even one of his worst saves.
And it's a 10-foot burst, so it's all three of them.
Wow, you rolled a 2.
You almost got that crit fail.
Oh.
Well, make your approach.
There we go. Like, excuse me, do you have a moment to talk?
About Jesus.
About Desna?
I don't want to hear about no Jesus. The two individuals that he's with, who are in process of sawing down a plank to size, the second they see you, they drop their, well, not facade. They drop the more labor-oriented poses and reach for their weapons as they ready themselves. You said you wanted to talk? Was that it?
Well, I hit him with the 10-foot burst, so they need to make the saves too.
I mean, they're just grabbing their weapons because strangers are
They're
approaching.
startled.
They're not like immediately running towards you to kill you.
It's like, yeah, we're just here, passing through, wondering if we could. What are we doing?
Take us to your leader.
Yeah, we're wondering if we could have a
wanna
conversation
join
with.
up.
Yeah. Could join up with your leader, get a little how you do, see what's going down.
He gives you an incredulous look.
I
Because
give them the finger gun.
nothing that you just said in any way inspires him that you should see his leader. Which is pretty much the feedback you get. Like, oh, anyone who walks up to me, I should just take on over to the big boss,
I mean, we could talk, war plans. We could talk, peace. We could talk, we're kind of, here on a diplomatic pseudo mission. We're here to, make sure things can and potentially end in a peaceful manner. So we would like to speak with, the head of your militia.
Do you actually... does Alora stumble over her words and ideas so much, considering that Fuyu is, like, whispering in your ear and all?
She says it better than I do, because...
No, I'm giving Bella the words, not
God dang it.
not Alora.
Yeah, I have a charisma of 11, but Alora has a charisma of 20, so...
I think once you stumble that much. You're not a. You might be an 11, but improvising is a little lower than that.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of charisma, but if you can't find the words,
Yeah, I'm helping with words because words are, my thing.
hey, even actors have like line read. Even the stages, you know those little cupolas there, those little tiny domes in the front. That's literally just a guy who yells the words at them. It's great.
Yeah, they just say line.
You fool! I will read your lines for you. And he climbs out and starts performing. This is now a one-man show.
This isn't a show. This is a monologue.
I love cheese. It's the best thing in the world. Anyway, so the whole of it is your diplomatic mission, was it?
Yeah. To see if
Not even
things can
lying that much.
end peacefully.
Roll me some diplomacy.
All right.
I'm curious to see how he responds to this. Considering that you're kind of people he doesn't know, we're in the middle of nowhere, and shouldn't be here. Oh, you're like one off. His
Can
DC
I
is.
hear a point that?
You can. You can.
Yeah, it.
I'm surprised this thing has so many. God, give me a moment. I need to perk myself back up again because I'm sliding downwards. There you go. Why do I eat Oreo? It always makes my stomach burn.
It's like Clara having the Reese's peanut butter cups.
She wants a Reese's Pieces.
Wait, is it take the hero point for like an instant success or roll?
No, we're using the other new system where you just get a success.
Okay, cool.
Which I think is what you said, but I'm dumb.
I mean, if it was
I
one
give
off,
him
even
another
the
finger
old...
guns.
Either way, it's the same.
Well, on the condition that you put your weapons away, he'll let you see the big boss upstairs.
Sure.
He doesn't mean God, by the
Powers
way.
for me.
The one
Sure.
slightly down,
I
not
put
as far
down-
upstairs.
I put down my mace, which is my weapon. Ooh. See?
He asks you to put him away, and I put him on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, then I put it.
Now there's mud on your mace.
Yeah, gross. This is a wasteland. It's gross.
If you're gonna crack someone's skull open, you don't want to give him an infection. Priorities.
So yeah.
You are bundled up, as it were, for transportation purposes. Who's measuring? Salas, you measuring?
did?
Don't do that.
Solace.
I lost connection
Alright.
to the server for a second there.
Gosh, I
No.
love how incredibly complicated this area map is. With all the hundreds of things. You are shown to the top of the tower. Which... Okay, I need to go. Okay, I just stumbled across this picture. And I just think I really like how space...
The hell is going on?
I think it's supposed to be
Was
necrotic
my
radiation.
favorite one.
Yeah, that expression does not to me scream, I'm currently affected by awful magic and I'm about to fucking die. It looks more like, oh man! What a goofy thing I got myself into today. Anyway,
It's kind of like
let's
he's
see.
grabbed his sword and there's some weird shit on the handle, and he's just kind of like, ugh.
Ugh.
Someone put mustard on my sword.
Oh no, the mustard.
Give him the old mustard handle.
God, that would make me drop a sword.
Enormous tower of wood, height rests atop 6 stone wheels. If the map makes them brown like wood.
Yeah.
Attached a harness to dinosaurs to pull them. The tower rises 3 stories tall, resembling 3 nested baskets atop one another. Highest level is only partially finished. So a bunch of construction supplies nearby. Gosh. Useless area, useless area, staging area. That's the lowest floor. The narrow wooden shutters near the room ceiling. Okay. They're nearly 10 feet from the floor and thus unusable for medium creatures without some sort of stool or bench. It's almost. I don't get it. The benches have not yet been installed. Oh. There's all kind of construction still happening in here. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, the nephew really did make it, I guess.
Yeah. Some paper mache walls that need replacing.
He just learned how to make it yesterday. Don't be rude.
Does anyone here speak Draconic?
I'm gonna check my
I do.
languages.
In that
Good
case,
John did.
as you're walking through the lower staging area, you hear one of the hard scales, the people in the room right now. You overhear them talking about someone named, let's see, her name is Haskarta, who is apparently in some town called Diobel. Isn't that where your team is going to go after? I think that's the town like at the base of the thingamaboober. Like when you were doing a whole bunch of far ahead scheming, I think that's where you're going to go for
Yeah.
book 6.
Yeah, I think that was one of the places that was listed.
Let's see. Who the hell is that guy? Como would say he was handsome. Where do I go for... No. Here we go, Quartos Mountains. God, it's not even on the fucking map. Of course it's not. Notable locations. Is Diobel on this? Where's Diobel? I know it's here. And I think it's like the town your guy said they would go to. Showing Diobel. Greatest show. Okay, yep. After establishing the circus away, which one is in Diobel? So that's where they're going. And apparently there's someone there who has contacts with the Zolgath. Judging by the fact that they're having discussions about missions that person might have. Boop. And in Diobel.
I was close, okay?
I mean, hey, it's very vague. It's very vague. Marvelous. Yeah. Alright. Enough of that. You are soon shown up the stairs.
Up.
By this big man and his big hammer. Let's see. Shrouds of canvas subdivide this room. Although nests of hay and moss are visible in the cornice, rams sleep up and down on the opposite side of the room. You enter the room and you see two things. Here we go. Oh god, this is hilarious. So, as you go up into the room, the first thing you see is very obviously a Zolgath who is not alive. If only because of the large amount of dried blood. His entrails hanging out slightly. His eyes being completely milky white. And the fact that he stands with a puppet-like slump make it more than obvious that this is not a living person anymore. Also, you're standing on the wrong side of the room, I just realized, for this to work. You enter from the south. Standing beside him is an individual who... thought they were getting rid of the whole concept of slave people. I mean, she's like only putting on a pretend show, but still. Besides him stands one of those gugs. Those large, mouth-for-a-face people with additional arms attached to their elbows. What is her loadout so I can describe? Because I'm pretty sure she's going to have something more than just her hands.
She's got a gun.
She just has an assault rifle.
Apparently no, the only real notable thing on her are the variety of scrolls hanging from her belt and a big old book. But besides that, not much about her. I don't know what is about her face, but it just doesn't work for me compared to other gugs.
Yeah, lack thereof.
She immediately begins to scold the person you're with, Jestal, although he rebukes in Undercommon. After which, she addresses you directly.
I understand Undercommon. But yeah.
If you understand Undercommon, then the most you would get out of that small aside that they got, or what they have said, she mostly is like, why are you bringing people here without telling me first? And he is like, well, they're from the outside, who fucking cares?
Don't tell me what to do.
Your
Stinky.
little facade is only for the people downstairs. So, she gets straight to the point and crosses her arms. I would like to know what exactly you hope to achieve by coming here.
I mean,
we want to know what you're trying to do out there, honestly.
Yeah, thanks. There you go.
takes quite a lot of guts to, resurrect the dead leader of an entire army and then lead them on a fairly undefended town.
I think I just found the perfect sentence that just explains my problems with a lot of Paizo design. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is an NPC page, right? Like, they like to, for the big guys, they put in the back, they put this whole section of, like, big name as the title, and then, like, a little blurb about them, and then campaign role. The first fucking sentence. The heroes might see them as merely another monster to overcome, but they can also negotiate with her. The shit comes flying out of my ears at this. The sentence perfectly encapsulates their disastrous thought process about how TTRPGs work. You know, the players might want to fight her, but maybe they'll want to talk. Yeah, cool. They come to one of the people who seems to be the big boss around here, and they might want to talk. Who knew?
Imagine that.
The point is, she, again, what was your rebuttal again? What she wants?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, what her goal is here, because it's kind of ballsy.
Yeah, reviving the war leader of an entire army and then sending that army to attack a fairly defenseless town. So,
What the heck?
pretty big play.
She makes mention of the fact that her plans are her own, and that this little puppet state will not be under her control much longer. And that you would do best to get out of the way of her plans and leave it at that. You can come back in a few weeks or so to your little town and everything will be fine.
Your
I
strategy wouldn't happen to involve some, I don't know, spooky underground artifacts? By any chance? Because I hear they're in kind of high demand these days.
She pauses for a moment. Although, to be fair, you are dealing with a creature that does not in fact possess any facial features. So, any expressions that she might have made if she had a face are completely not there. At most, her mouth twitches a bit.
She does the thinking emoji with her open maw.
She puts her
Putting
hands
the
at the
finger
base of
there.
her mouth. Is that considered polite? How do they kiss? Dizzy, how do they kiss?
You don't want to see that.
There are
It's
things
really
that should not
wet
be
and
answered,
awful.
Safi.
I want to see him eat a
Also-
durian.
what is she? Like, aberration, undead, whatever.
These are aberrations.
Yeah, Gug's aberrations.
I was actually going to ask myself, can I do a magic check to figure out what spell she's using to animate the puppet?
Necromancy.
Yeah, probably.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, I was wondering if it was like animate dead or something.
Odds are she probably used that create undead ritual.
Because I have a stupid idea that I was wondering if I could use.
Well, what is your stupid idea?
Can I use this on it and make it just fall over?
Let's see. I think this only works when you're targeted afterwards. Yeah, I think this only works on spells cast after this is cast, so active things still remain.
Dang, I was kind of hoping that'd be in the thing. It's just like
What you're thinking of is called dispel magic.
Which,
Whenever
which
spell
I can do.
is the target of a
I-
named spell, then it tries to counteract it.
It was just a random thought. Not playing enough spellcasters.
Delightful. Well, since you mentioned
Or
some
is it
powerful
about-
artifacts, you would like to know what exactly you would want to return for that artifact simply being handed over.
Well,
Then perhaps we'll go a little easier on you.
quite honestly, we'd like it if the Zolgath went home. Like, we don't want to fight them. We're
Yeah, we're
trying
kind
to
of
find
friends with some of the Zolgath.
yeah, we're
Okay,
trying to
and
find like a big peaceful solution kind of deal. And as of right now, fighting an entire army sounds like quite the opposite of that.
Something that resembles a laugh comes out of that big fat maw of hers. As she very politely states that, as you can see, the survival of his tribe doesn't really concern him in this state, now does it? And she gives the puppet a shove, and he just stumbles as air pushes out of his lungs.
What's wrong with that guy? Has he got the flu or something? We've all been there.
I mean, considering that on his head is this big wound that's just crusted with dried up
Wonder how
blood.
none of the Zolgath noticed.
It's not subtle.
She finds it very hilarious that you think this is all she can do.
Yeah, I mean, there's like disguise spells and stuff. It's pretty easy to, pop
This
it
is,
a little
funnily
bit.
enough, one of the rare few times where fascination actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. Because it would stop them from properly analyzing him, since that requires concentration, I imagine.
Yeah. You have to concentrate to, like, focus on details.
Like the dead part.
Again,
The organs hanging out.
there are many ways to take care of such business, but she would like to get back to the part that matters most to her.
Yes. Tangent.
I'm going to casually hunt her because I can just sort of do that.
She would, again, very much like to know what exactly you were expecting in return for this. Stick the Zolgath back. She doesn't care about any of them. They're disposable.
Well,
I mean,
information, I guess.
If she has what she wants, she's just leaving. That's it.
So
Would
which
you-
magical relic is she looking for?
The big statue we found underneath the town.
The statue that
It's
made
like-
you very spooked.
Yeah,
Ah,
when we
that
looked
one.
at it, we got really scared. There was a ghost there that kind of
And you went
touched me
boo.
in weird places.
Where did the ghost touch you? Can you show
My
me on
soul.
the doll?
Okay, listen, could someone pull my soul, please?
I had to wash it when I got home. It's gross.
Don't forget to use soul soap.
But yeah, honestly, we're trying to deal with the whole Aeon Orb situation. Do you know anything about that? Particularly the missing one.
Considering that she explains that she knows that this little dummy, who she calls Arskuva, was very interested in the stupid orb stuff. But she fairly quickly figured out that the Druids don't even have it. She kind of went in there and just kind of interrogated them and found out that this guy's just on an empty hope and dream. And when he didn't want to do what she wanted him to do, she just, set her own little plans into motion. The Zolgath know enough about the plan that without a replacement leader, if she leaves, there's just going to be a lot of chaos. And Willowside will get swallowed up in the process.
Well, we happen to know a pretty significant Zolgath general that we could, in theory, take over the reins with, and then the whole situation would be at least semi under control. Because I doubt they'd want to take orders from a bunch of uplanders like us.
yeah, we're a little too sun-kissed for their liking.
Perfect dog.
Plus, we're kind of well known in terms of fighting them.
You're having this discussion, and she doesn't care. She, if anything, starts to push about the statue that you found.
So what do you want? What's the statue do?
Like, what do you want?
According to the book, nothing.
There are no consequences for this action. It's another adventuring team's problem.
Actually, let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure the statue doesn't actually do anything meaningful outside of being a cool statue. Vividly lifelike statue is unnerving, emits an aura that makes you incapable of becoming lower than Frightened 1. Supernatural resilient to damage. Her little blurb. Okay. That's her. Helga attempts to remain concealed behind the hanging canvas. Well, that's just a funny tactic. She spends all of her time with the guy. He usually looks alive if a little dry. He also lacks the usual stench. Oh, that's just hilarious. Although she apparently wears a stinky jacket that helps accommodate for it. That's just great. She
wants to smell.
She used to wear perfume to make sure her boyfriend smells. Helga doesn't wish to die here. Blah 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 blah. Here's recognize the Bukrog amulet immediately. Fair enough. What's this? Is she wearing an amulet in the picture? I don't think she is.
I mean, it's hard to tell when she doesn't have a neck.
True. Also, I do not, in fact, see an obvious amulet there, so gonna mark that one against the artist, if anything. Let's see. Yeah, nothing here explains what happens if you deal with her as, like, a negotiation tactic.
So there's, like, no downside to this.
The adventure path assumes that you're gonna beat her ass. Because it doesn't want to assume that you're nice guys. God. Oh, wait. That's because I'm on the wrong page. There's like a whole secondary section that's called Parlay. There we go.
Oh.
She offers a deal.
Suddenly I have to stop complaining as much.
Let's see. She doesn't particularly care for the collateral damage to the town of Tristans. Well, yeah, that's obvious. She's a fucking chaotic evil necromancer. She doesn't care.
Yeah, she's leading a fucking army into the thing. Do you think she gives a shit?
Her offer is straightforward and genuine. Give me the statue, and I'll leave. Ooh. Statuette ritual. That might be the bad thing. Wow. Oh no, a statuette ritual. I know what that is. That makes things tiny. So the statue is supernaturally resistant to damage, but you can just shrink it into an amiibo. Great.
I want an amiibo.
A little fear amiibo.
Connected to your Nintendo Switch. Unlock some extra Animal Crossing ornaments.
All right. So, she'll give you a little a special scroll that lets you shrink the thing down. Bring it over to her. And then she'll leave. How does that sound?
Well, that sounds fair enough. If all you want is the statue, then...
Which apparently serves no purpose whatsoever.
She just wants it for her mantle.
It's just that her god says it's cool. There's literally nothing here for what it actually does.
It's like a religious artifact in real life.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything, but people like it. Like to have it and play in front of it.
Also, it fills her with dread, I imagine, or reverence, I guess.
Kind of both.
Yeah.
She likes being a little afraid.
It's the kind of like fear that, like, in awe of things.
Solace, however, does not take this offer as good. He doesn't want her to go away. He wants the army to go away. So he draws his blade because he talks with that thing out like it's a pointing stick.
Just slap him on the back of the head.
Solace, if we get rid of her, we can get rid of the army.
And what exactly do you think is going to do that? Once she leaves, if anything, this place will lose the one leader proxy thing it has.
Okay, how about when we get the statue, we have her tell them to leave?
Perhaps you should agree to such terms before you go do things. Although I guess it would be easier to blackmail her if we have the statue in our hands and can throw it on the ground.
Throw it on the ground.
And then step on it.
Really quick, I'm going to turn to her. If we bring the statue, will you tell these guys to just leave?
I just realized something. This section actually specifically mentions that... God damn it. What the okay, so this thing specifically mentions that she'll straight up tell you, like, the entrance to the Darklands as to how to get to where the Zolgath came from, which kind of contradicts what I thought the point of the Druids was, which was to tell the players to go down there and teleport...
I mean, like...
I can't take this shit anymore. This book is so filler, they forget about it in the next one. All right.
Anime.
So you try to make an argument. Can
No, just
Alora...
ask her if she would.
how about you roll me some diplomacy, and we'll see how much she actually cares for your particular wants and needs. Because the die roll, it's a lot about circumstance. The die roll doesn't represent skill, it represents specific minor circumstances that I, as a game master, can't account for.
Destiny.
Okay. Well,
Because-
since I'm the one rolling this is gonna be fun.
Because she knows, and you know, because you're not idiots, that's her suddenly calling off this whole fucking thing is really suspicious and kind of risky.
Yeah,
Like,
didn't
well,
roll that
guys,
bad.
war's over.
That's a failure. Why are you rolling this anyway? Why isn't Bell rolling this?
Well, because Fuyu was doing the talking.
Fair enough. Alright. Well, as I said, that's a failure. In which case she finds those turns unagreeable. She would like to remind you that she has an army at her disposal to take care of this whole business anyway. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Mm,
Anything for you
Well-
guys?
since things aren't looking well, and we do potentially have a replacement on hand, like Ruby said.
And would need to contact them.
Yeah, which I can do. But we can walk downstairs to discuss. What do you think? Go downstairs to like avoid a big, area of discussion.
Yeah, where it's just us, maybe.
A big area of effective discussion. We can avoid that by going downstairs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, I don't know why we couldn't just.
Helga
whisper
notices
here.
you being weirdly scrummy about this. And
We
you
just
can
need
tell
to-
that her guard starts to go up as her hands go from this more relaxed cross position to...
I'm not sure why you're saying in such a weird way instead of how about we just go talk about it?
Yeah. Just
Because you added all
Yeah.
these weird extra flowery terms like you were trying to hide something.
Yeah, like that's a really weird thing to do in private company.
again.
Just to say we
I-
need to go talk about it.
Miss
Yeah,
Helen, can you give us a minute to like kind of come up with a
It
I
it's
don't
my
care,
effective
bro.
way of saying wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I can't do that over voice.
You can literally just say wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can describe your actions, Bella, instead of speaking in incredibly awkward terminology.
Basically, I want to subtly imply to the people who know Alora that she wants to, avoid massive damage to her own party while hitting a big spell.
Yeah, I figured when you said area of effect. Okay, let's go talk about it. We'll go get the statue and we'll be back in a bit, I guess.
Marvelous. You head downstairs. Back to where some
Uh,
jolly old chumps are hanging out.
Before we're fully downstairs, and while I still have eye contact on good old
Eyeless
what's her
lady?
face? Yeah, good old eyeless lady. I'm just gonna just smack her.
Oh. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that goes on stairs, like if it's levels. Which
Let's take a look. So you call forth a divine cataclysm of your deity, destroying undead, living and undead creature alike. Creatures in the area take 10d6 negative damage and 10d6 alignment damage, good, evil, lawful, or chaotic. Chosen from among the alignments your deity has. If your deity's true neutral, increase it. The negative damage.
oh wait, y'all look good.
What?
Y'all look good. You're fine.
It probably wouldn't have done anything.
A creature harmed by positive. This guy's probably already downstairs because he's leading you out. A creature. Wait. Because Hit your armor positive damage. Okay, cool, gotcha. Alright. So, some sort of divine cataclysm happens inside the small siege tower. Oh.
And she failed.
Roll me some damage, Bella.
I will roll the damage.
As the whole fucking room fills up with a divine cataclysm. That's a huge area.
And your alignment damage.
Yeah, Bella, you roll twice.
Okay. I was wondering why it was so weenie damage. What? Still weenie, but
Weenie.
I imagine like one. It looks like one little like sparkly spectral butterfly flies in and like lands on her hand or something, and then like 1,000 of them just swarm in and explode.
and now we can go back upstairs.
Okay.
I bet that was really cool, and I would have
And
enjoyed
I wish I
seeing.
could have seen all that.
But the choice has been made.
Ruby.
Holy crap! I rolled well.
Yeah.
Very refreshing, I know.
It is.
Okay. Makes sense.
Jesus. Well, I mean, it makes sense.
For Ruby, it's your turn. Alora casts a spell, and suddenly the room fills up with this bright flash of positive energy and goodness. It looks and tastes a little bit like flowers and butterflies.
Tasted of strawberries.
Sunshine and lollipops and rainbows.
It's little flowers and like vines and stuff growing out of the wood. Well, guess I need to... Can't move. Hang on. There we go. Colliding with stuff, so I'm doing this with WASD. And as a free action, I set up my lunging stance.
Oh no!
And then just kind of look at her and go, I only tried to negotiate, but
The long arm of the law.
guess that doesn't work. Dalek can be all spooky first. You need to remember. Seeing his powerful eyes. And growling.
They're powerful because she's jealous because she doesn't have eyes.
She is slightly intimidated by this.
Yeah, I was gonna moonburst her, but then I realized I can't blind her.
And then gonna improve knockdown.
Bonk. Bonk, bonk.
Any critical.
That's one crunchy attack. Crunch.
Bonus from the trim.
Oh, she does know statuette. It's adorable. Look at this.
Aw. Cute.
What the fuck is in vehicle? What a goofy ritual. It takes a whole day to cast. Oh, it's basically like a long-term suggestion. That's adorable. Oh. Oh. I think you're gonna be very happy that I'm gonna use the spell because it's a very fun spell. It's very great. It's very fun. Remember this old guy? Ruby?
Our old friend Maze.
Alora, get out of here.
Wait, but she's
Our old
stripped,
friend-
isn't she?
She is.
She's also casting a spell within my...
Stab her.
Plink.
Oh boy.
Hey,
Hi,
at least you're
Laura.
not as bad as I am at that.
Yeah.
How did you miss by... You did miss by 2. You did hit him. Prone wasn't engaged yet.
Oh, yeah. Stab.
So do I make a will save now, or do I wait on my turn?
How about instead of doing any of that, we have this fun moment where she concedes defeat. I mean, she got blown up, and you pretty much knocked the wind out of her.
And Bella's just gone.
No, Bella's still here. She never got to finish that spell because she kind of dropped it. It wasn't slapped out of her hands as much as she dropped it with her own two hands. As she throws up her arms and admits
Ah, jeez.
and begins yelling that she'll defer to your request, as it were, that she will pull back the army.
Okay.
I'm glad you see things our way.
Fair enough.
We love to hear it.
She can't frown or anything, so you're not certain how exactly she feels about this. But and her voice is kind of the gravelly kind where it's hard to tell. So,
Is there a way to make a what 5e would call an insight check?
You're not there. Oh yeah, you are. Sorry, I keep forgetting you
Yeah,
didn't
they-
get sent. I keep finding that hilarious. So we
Fourth
just-
time.
Look, I was gonna find it funny that Bella's gonna show back up after we've solved the negotiation. She's like, ready to fight, and we're just all calm.
They took sense motive out of the game. Gotta do something else.
gosh. Well, it appears that she has conceded to your demands anyway,
Oh, okay.
or at the very least says that she is.
Yeah, that's why I want to see if I believe her.
I mean, Well, you know what? Give it a go.
Okay.
How familiar are you with the body language of people who don't have faces?
Could it be occultism, or would it be society?
I said it's perception.
Perception.
I guess occultism
Alright.
also has to be made in order for you to figure out the specific tells you're looking for in the first place. But
So occultism and perception.
occultism, then perception.
Let's see if I can read them. Nope.
Nope.
I trust her.
You haven't
Oh,
a
my
clue what
heart.
you're looking for. So the best you can assume is that she's being honest. I mean, she is throwing up her hands, and she is at your mercy, and you're almost killed her, so... Surely she's not that stupid. On the other hand, Gug's are chaotic evil abominations. Keeping their word is not their style.
Well, at least I don't have to waste all my spell strike arrows.
I'm not gonna just stab someone who's thrown up and beg for mercy.
I am gonna side eye Solace though.
See what Solace feels about this.
Solus is a paladin. He's not going to kill someone who's surrendered.
Look,
Yeah, he knows.
we
the
had someone
rules
who
of
was
the game.
playing a game and he friggin' Fate Stay Night Excalibured through them across the room. I don't know what to believe.
Wait, what?
When we
was
were
a
in
clown.
the circus,
When he just destroyed a clown.
you got a clown that's on the rafters. He's just like, "Brr."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, obliterated it in one hit.
One of the two things that he managed to defeat, nothing. The other one was a mute.
If you're going to be like that, I'm going to post the mayonnaise nose spray.
No.
For when you're breathing a
No.
little too easy. All right, kids. Shall we fast
Still get a
forward to you
statue.
taking care of the statue stuff?
Yeah.
She gives you a spell that I think takes like a whole fucking day to cast. Oh no, it takes an hour to cast. Nice. Jesus.
Plus,
Jesus.
I think the town will be happy to be rid of the statue too.
I love them sleep better. Soon enough, you leave, you come back, you plonk this large... Oh, it's probably like a pocket-sized statue at that point. Dump it in front of her.
I assume we're all rested at 4.
She scurries back to pick it up. And she'll concede that she'll take the army out of here. Lead them back home, as it were. And leave the rest to you.
Thank you.
with the kind of undertone of like the specific word choice and the slight intonation she can manage being, I hope I never, ever, ever see you again.
You get
My
that a
Jesus
lot.
Christ.
overtones are mutual.
Don't worry, lady, the feeling's mutual. We're the heroes.
Don't worry, you were in a filler arc. You're not going to show up again.
She doesn't.
You're an anime movie villain.
Let's see, what is it mentioned for her coming back? She usually has like sections stuff like, by the way, if you leave them alive, they'll come back and bonk you on the head later. Let's see. No, I don't want to read about Letteric. Here we go. Helk doesn't have any further role to play in this adventure path, but if they get into trouble in the Darklands... Wait, what? But heroes who get into trouble in the Darklands might need to visit the closest thing to a friendly face they have in the region. What? You call that a
He
face?
almost killed her.
Friendly lack of a face.
I don't even know why she's going down there, but whatever.
Just show up at our house and she's got a big statue in
It's a real conversation starter, you know?
the middle of a living room. This fear-emitting
Also-
statue.
Time stamped. I imagine this is how it ended.
Gosh. Well, after this, there's only one more part left, and that's those godly doodly... The Druid house. Alright. Well, you're technically done here, hence slapping together. You've technically already earned your level up. So what do you want to do before we call this book a close? The people of Willowside will almost certainly be very grateful of you.
Yippee yahoo.
Yippee
Uh,
skip yahoo!
if we get a level up, I would like to go to the actual Ziggurat to see if we could find anything from the Aeon Stone.
The Tower of Empty Stones. The desolation of the world gives place to a verdant patch of trees and grass around a ridge bearing a tall tower. The tower's steep, stepped pyramid made of smooth mud brick, without any doorways or openings at all. Although it resembles another Aeon tower, no Aeon orb orbits its pinnacle. A narrow ramp ascends the tower on the eastern face, but leads only to a blank wall. Some pitted holes and scorch marks show evidence of recent attacks, but these attacks have made little headway against the tower's resolute strength.
Basically, on my level up, I was gonna get discern location, and if we can find like a piece or anything that belonged with Aeon Stone, I'm just gonna cast discern location.
First off, I want you to show discern location to tell me how long the radius is, but when you get close to the tower...
I think it's planar.
When you get close to the tower, a little bird lands on your shoulder and recites a message to you. Your efforts enable the Zolgath, which we cannot abide. Turn your attention to them when the region is safe of their depredations. We will open to you. At that time, we will have much to discuss. And you see high up top, there's like a little bitty window, and someone is in there like waving down at you.
Oh,
It's like that scene in Monty Python, Holy Grail. The Knight of the Tower. We've already got one.
All right, well, it seems that they haven't gotten the message yet that the siege has been lifted. But to be fair, the siege is going to take a bit to actually pack up and leave.
It's over. We fixed it.
Yeah, we already dealt with the siege.
Another little bird comes flying down. Well, the same bird, probably. Then move up the ramp and we will open the door.
Okay.
Time for some cardio, baby.
Heck yeah, we're circus folk. We get cardio sometimes.
Step, 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 step.
Look how big that ramp is. Jesus.
It's a lot of cardio.
Honestly, I'd assume we actually get a lot of cardio in the circus.
all right. It just says range unlimited. So
Cool. I would like to point out, and I think this is important, I don't think this thing actually mentions where the Aeon Orb is. In any way, shape, or form. So,
It's lost. Smile.
no, it was taken by some other dudes, and it's somewhere. quotation mark. But the problem is, not only has it been taken somewhere, the module doesn't tell me where somewhere might be, in case the players might want to find. It's just fucking stupid. Like I said, the writing is very fixated on the idea of what matters most for the obvious, the script movie version of the adventure. And it bothers me, because this was 3.0 or 3.5. Hell, I think even Pathfinder 1E would have done this, where they put a little part, like, by the way, the stone is here, but it's outside of the scope of this adventure. Bam. 2 lines. Once you get up the ramp, you get to a hallway which leads into several small but simple rooms, which look about as you'd expect from something that's been under siege for a couple of days, or weeks, or whatever. Their leader is a middle-aged, half-elf looking lady. She's got the half-pointy ears. Brown skin, short salt and pepper hair. She offers some tea and introduces herself as Elder Unakite. Or, if you want to be funny about it, Unikite. But that's just mean.
Yeah. Just gonna like they
So
cool.
hi, we're not from around here, but we just kind of saved everything around here.
Almost certainly so. We are members of a group of nature priests called the Empty Stones, who protect all natural life, and this Aeon Tower has long served as a home. We are trying to hold off against the wells, but it seems that now we had to overtake an army at that. Although you've certainly saved us that trouble.
Honestly, I don't think anyone wanted to deal with the siege, but
Sieges aren't fun for anyone.
hopefully the worst of it has passed and the whole thing is over and done with now.
Certainly.
We're
For
just,
the minimum of bloodshed.
we're just here to help potentially find the stone, which we can hand wave if we do get it with a certain location that says like, hey, you can go to this place, and it'll be there.
Salas suddenly steps up, because unfortunately these are druids who've decided to remain neutral. And as a guy of goodness, that's something he just can't abide by.
Evil, I understand, but neutral.
You never know where you are. Yeah! They could be good or evil. Or neither. Or
Zap Brannigan is a future descendant of Solace Creek.
they've got...
My god, it makes sense. That's where he is.
That's the Starfinder Solace Creek.
Yeah, it's just Zap Brannigan. It's like if Solace had less of an respect for life.
He basically gives them the basic loadout of like, why aren't you helping the town? Why are you taking after yourself? Siege is still...
This is the guy who works for the god of capitalism.
They give the very, very boring, lame priest answer of civilization can fend for itself, and the people can stay or go as they see fit. We don't deign to tell them what to do. The animals and plants lack that choice. That is why we are here for them. Solace normally is like the heroic, like stand-up kind of person, but this is the time where he gets up and his fist slams straight through the table.
Just slap him on the back of the head again.
Solace, you're making us look bad.
It is this kind of cowardice that empowers your kind of thievery. You will claim to be druids of nature, yet you protect the unnatural. This island is meant to be a dark, dead rock. It has turned into a political tool, even of those who claim to be apolitical. And she gives that spiel of, what you know now, the plants and animals didn't say you want to be here. It's part of the natural world now. And he says, bullshit! That is the kind of excuse that Abadar gives for all of his reasoning. Well, we can't give back the Aeon Stones now, can't we? After all, people live here now. Certainly, that kind of status quo is exactly how the people in power and the people oppressed stay where they are.
Dude,
To
did
be
you guys
fair,
know that Solace could curse?
no, I didn't know he had it in him. But I'm
I
with him
didn't.
on this one.
I like his gusto.
I want you to
I
tell
don't-
us right now where the Aeon Orb is, so that we may use it for the purposes we have deigned to be worthy. She gives you the spiel. There used to be a larger group called the Circle of Stones, before they were the Empty Stones, because I guess name consistency and brand consistency matters. A bunch of people took it about 10 years ago. They don't know where they are, but they trust they're using it for good purposes, because, you know, they're the status quo. They know what they're doing. She grimaces, in the sense that whatever she just thought of wasn't very good. But she can't recover the Aeon Orb for the Circle. They do know where the Sixth Orb is, you know, downstairs, in the subterranean vault of the Darklands.
It's under the bed. It's in my sock drawer.
Eridan only took 5, right? And there's 6 of them. So maybe you can find that one. That'll be good enough.
The one the Zolgath have.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one that's
where we're
keeping them
bringing all the
alive.
other ones.
Yeah, the one that we're not taking from them.
Yeah, we know about that one, pal.
Yeah, we figured that one out a while ago.
What exactly is your plans? Surely you don't plan to do anything hasty with these things.
Oh, you betcha.
No, we plan to do a thorough, peer-reviewed study on how to properly use their magic so that we can actually help people.
Yeah, so we could unify the Zolgath and the rest of the upper.
Zolgath. You want to unify with the Zolgath?
We want to give
After
them no
everything
reason
they've
to
done
come
to
attack
us, you want people to have respect for these monsters?
After everything we've done to them, they deserve it.
These orbs kind of were theirs, and
The
they're
orbs
dying.
are now here, and they belong to nature, and not whatever they consider to be their home.
But they are nature.
Yeah.
Those monsters are not nature,
What makes our nature more important than theirs?
because we know what we are doing. We are in
But that
tune
doesn't
with the
sound
god
very
of nature.
That just sounds like a whole lot of racism. Apparently.
So you're saying that humans and other sentient species have to know what to do with nature instead of just letting nature do its thing.
God's rare wills as God's rare ones. We are but leaves on the wind.
Don't you poetry at me.
Well, if you were leaves on the wind, then you would, truly endorse traveling and not remaining in one place.
For leaves in the wind, you sure are being pretty stuck in your ways and not moving with the tides.
Tides are for civilizations. Nature is always the same.
That is
Is it?
completely untrue.
Yes.
Nature changes all the time.
Solace ties into that by pointing out that nature doesn't stay the same because, one, this whole fucking island is proof of that.
Yeah.
Also,
nature is
there's things
natural.
called seasons.
Well, that's not really. You can still say, like, overarching.
Yeah, like those are like
Repeating
natural.
pattern is still the pattern, but the whole fact that this entire island is artificial and the entire force of nature stems entirely from an artificial construct doesn't exactly lend credit to your whole.
I mean, this island is literally dying because of it. This sounds to me like someone's using a little fertilizer. Sounds to me like someone is, cheating a little bit.
A little bit of change is happening. Maybe.
Sounds to me like this whole natural situation isn't exactly sustainable. Sounds a little like hydroponics, which isn't very natural.
Sounds like you're kind of enforcing your will onto nature as it changes.
God damn it. I love it.
Sounds like you're a goddamn hypocrite.
She points out that it's only logical that your type wouldn't really understand how this is supposed to work.
I think we understand pretty well.
Perhaps you should take your complaints over to Absalom, since you clearly want to talk like city folk do.
To be
Oh no,
fair.
we're taking our complaints there, but we gotta take
It's
it.
the next stop.
Yeah, we're just making problems.
And she turns her attention to Solace because, he's a paladin. They're both quite religious folk. I mean, technically you could say that Alora's kind of a religious individual, but she's a the more the floaty type, you know, the hippie type, like, hey.
Alright,
Instead of the
well,
cleric, like, God, give me strength.
I just go where the roads and stars take me, babe.
She just
Solus is a paladin.
she just
kinda
quite
going
casually
first.
tosses at him that if he truly believes himself to be some sort of knight of justice, bearing the cross of his god on his back, then maybe he should pray a little more, because he is clearly going against the tenets, acting
Oh,
against the
shit.
will of law.
Solus, if you want to hit him, be my guest.
Solus politely asks that you all leave the tower.
Got it, Chief.
Yeah.
They went ahead and made this personal. I respect that.
Well, first, since if we're level 16,
You are.
Yeah. Then what was there like a stand for the orb?
No, the orb circles around.
Yeah,
It's
they all orbit around the tower.
They all float down here, Bella.
If there were any like residue or cracked shell bits or whatever, they'd be littered around the tower rather than inside it.
Alright. Then, while we go downstairs and Solus lays on a beating, I'm just gonna look for fragments.
all right. Cool. So you spend some time taking a look around. I mean, I want to know how they got that orb in the first place. Like, did a bunch of druids catch fly on themselves or turn into birds and grab it? Did they try strings around it and then pull it down like a big balloon?
Yeah,
How do you move an Aeon orb?
They jumped on
Ooh. So Aeon orbs don't float unless they orbit your head, right? So once the orb is pulled out of orbit, does it just fall to the ground? That they have to put a big cushion in place?
Yeah, like
I love thinking about the logistics of taking this big orb.
this whole Looney Tunes episode of them trying to get the orb down.
So you leave the tower and you're just kind of standing outside.
We can hear a lot of violence.
No, you don't necessarily hear violence. You at first hear yelling, and it sounds like a lot of rules lawyering, you know. Like, you think it's good to take things. You think that over time crime becomes like. He has an interesting discussion about the nature of like. What is it called again when a crime expires for a court system?
Statute of limitations.
The statute of limitations. He talks about if the statute of limitation means that a crime, like it comes from the perspective of like, does the punishment still mean anything? More from the perspective that the crime has ceased to be a crime, and that's kind of what's going on in there. And you can't hear her because she doesn't talk as loud as he is. He is just barking orders, and it's a little uncomfortable.
Nope.
And then you follow Alora downstairs, I presume, to help look for that orb stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
straight into it.
Yeah, it's kind of feeling domestic.
So you do in fact find something. You find a large area which you imagine was cleared at some point because Zala, you once told me that like in the middle of the forest in your area there was like a huge concrete slab or something. That's kind of what you find. Like there's just a section of wood where there's this huge slab of laid tiles where they presumably caught the orb once it fell down. You even find some old notes, ropes, and wires, like a whole bunch of rotting equipment. It's been 10 years, so a lot of it's gone, but clearly someone had plans for this. Like, this didn't happen overnight. Alora casts their fine spell. You know what? I know specialized mount may only be taken once, but Ruby has selected additional time. Well, shut up, book. I don't care.
You can take it 3 times.
I was waiting for Solace. Thanks, Mr. Bean. You're great.
He's been charging up this monologue for about 3 years. You need to let him get it
He's
out.
been charging it up for 4 campaigns.
Okay. There's something I wanted to look up. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look up the map of Galarian, or the Inner Sea, because that's usually what you get. It's like the Sword Coast, but it's not just water on one side and earth on the other. Pathfinder. There we go. My Inner Sea folio map. It's fucking huge. It's 40 megabytes.
That is really big.
It's like 12,000 by 20,000 pixels, man. It's a big map.
Jesus.
You know where I think that fucking stone ended up? It ended up on that genocide island that dragons run in.
No.
No, not Genocide Island. It's the island where a dragon is trying to set up like the perfect society or whatever the fuck he's calling it. That seems like the perfect place for that thing to go.
Society.
That's the term I was looking for. Thank you.
I am good with words. It is my thing.
That seems to me. I imagine the stone probably went all over the place, and then eventually just ended up in his hands because that just seems like the place that would go. I mean, it could go to somewhere like Ustalov or to the world. It could probably also end up in the worlds. You know what? Let's say it ended up there. That seems like the perfect place for it to go. It went to where the demons used to be, and now it's helping clean up the place. It's a big old evil sponge, so it works for that. It's in the Sarcosis Wastes. So hey, I guess if you really wanted to, you could go and see what's up with Ashes. He's probably very grumpy. So few demons to shoot as of late.
We can derail the campaign and have.
You're already
Separate
derailing the
room.
campaign with your Absalom thing, by the way.
Yeah, we've completely derailed the plotline already, Bella.
Oh no, Diabell's over there. That's a whole different town. Well, whatever. Who fucking cares? I don't care right now. I'm kicking up my little feeties. Take that, Sky. Anyway, your little examination reveals that I guess if locate is in fact planar, yeah, we'll pick up on that.
It just has unlimited.
Yeah, I'd probably have to have like specific protections on it.
Let's
to not
see.
work that
You'll learn the name of a target, its exact location, including the building, community, and country. Why the fuck does this spell no political context?
Political
And
borders
plane of
are enforced
existence.
by magic.
You must have touched it or have a fragment of it. I'm sure you can find like a fragment or something around. Like a little chip off the old block. The thing was withering and everything.
Some detritus.
Discern location
Yeah.
automatically overcomes... Okay, lower than this level. I think there's a town at the center of the world, Scar, but we'll for now just go with the city of Iz. That is Izit. If I'm correct, it is a fuck ton of miles of where you are right now. Over 1,000. 2,000.
That is actually the number. Is 1 fuck ton. 0.2.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
1.2 fuck tons. Very scientific.
So at a certain point, as you're just taking a look around, you hear this big boisterous roar. But eventually it gets quiet again. And Solace manages to find you, which isn't too hard because you're like casting spells and everything.
Hey man, how you doing?
He has in his hand a rolled up piece of paper.
At the head.
And a pair of balls. She didn't even have those, but he got them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that one a win. He has managed to extract something for you.
What's that?
He gives it to you, Alora. It's a scroll of magic.
Gasp.
To be specific, this is quite a fascinating object. It's an 8th level teleport scroll.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
convenient.
He says that we can use it to go to the Underdark, Darklands, without any trouble.
He actually corrects himself.
In addition, because you happen to know a Zolgath, they can probably direct you to the closest logical and landing site. So, all you have to do is contact her, get some basic information, and you should be able to arrive there within a good margin of error.
Okay.
I say it's a billion miles away. I would like to point out that you're pretty close to like the equator of the planet, and the world moon is close to the pole.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
We're gonna need some warm clothes.
Gosh, I mean, don't worry. Dizzy's been there once. They know what it's like before Ashes shot like so many arrows in the hole that it just clogged up.
Fire was the guy's name. Ashes was his brother.
Listen,
That turned into a 4-armed freak.
listen. He shot a lot of arrows down there.
I threw some nukes around. It was a great time.
It was a very fun campaign. Everyone had a great time. Too bad it had to end the way it did. But hey, who cares? I think if I wasn't so stuck up, I would have finished it. But I was like, man, I don't get to do anything fun. Although,
Maybe someday.
it's kind of funny that you had like a guy with a machine gun, a nuke, and then a dwarf.
Yeah,
Just a dwarf.
he was kind of there.
I thought it was. Well, point is, he would like to know what you're doing out here on this nice tile floor. Are you setting up a camp or something?
Well,
We were figuring out where the Aeon Stone is.
we found it.
Marvelous. Then it seems that
It's,
today good has not slept.
It's all the way up in the city of Is. Nice.
Pretty far away.
The city of Is. My goodness. Well, I guess it would make sense that it would be taken to the World Wound. If the orb possesses any qualities of discouraging demon activity, it'd be a fantastic way to get that place back up to snuff. Ever been there?
No.
No.
Trees of eyes, and mouths, and teeth. Too many teeth. In the wrong places, too.
That's horrifying.
They also have
Any
ears.
number of teeth is too many on a tree.
I mean, they have all organs. Some even have lungs on the outside. I don't know why, but they do.
Are you sure these are trees?
Ah, yes. What do they call those little things in your lower intestine? The little wiggly bits. Sometimes,
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
sometimes the grass is that instead. It's really a fascinating place. I went there quite briefly as part of my paladin training.
Is that where you went insane?
Insane. It is where I learned my greatest of inspirational wording.
So yes.
Still, we could go to Is. This scroll will allow us to get there with quite the ease. Or we could
Just
go
need
to
to
the
wait.
Darklands and settle those affairs. Although, weren't you... I heard on the grapevine that you were in fact planning something in Absalom, wasn't it? We should take care of that first.
Yeah, that's likely our
Sure.
next stop.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, we need to talk to the heads of Absalom and be like, hey, we need to correct our shit.
Now that I think about it, I could try to pull some strings over in Is. All you have to do is touch the orb, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, not even touch it, just kind of be near it.
Then I think I can make arrangements for you to come over to Is without any too much trouble. It'll just be a short skip off the old rock. After all, everyone's paladins up there, and I know a lot of people there too. And I'm quite certain, and I know that some very powerful people who live there are more than reasonable.
will they let us take the orb?
That will be a bit more difficult, but for now, let's focus on the part where you get the reflection at the very least. Let's put that one on the back burner and see if we can find something if you can find something useful down in the Underdark first. The Darklands, excuse me.
I'm sorry, the copyright sense keeps tingling.
I must say I've never been able to tolerate Druids for too long, but this time my patience was especially tried, and I've lost it. I feel ashamed.
You become far more erudite.
Sounded like you needed to get it out of your system, pal.
I am not from Andoran. Calling me erudite.
He's never read a book in his life. Come on, don't insult him.
Don't use big words, he can't understand them. He doesn't speak advanced common.
That's all I get for trying to sound fancy.
To be fair, I don't know what erudite is either. No, wait, erudite. I thought erudite with an A. Ugh.
No,
Erudite, as in
E.
reads books.
Well, with all this in mind, you're back in Willowside, and soon enough, at least. Get to enjoy one of those big asterisk-like massive meals around a big fire. Roasted whole hogs and everything. During which, of course, the fact that the environment is still declining is still there. But at the very least, the atmosphere seems positive. And, you know, people are going to be sleeping good. People are going to be sleeping well soon, since the Statue of Nightmares is gone.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yeah, that was there, and we got rid of it, so that alone is a bonus.
Astriax would also like to be kept up to date. What exactly are your future plans for the coming few days?
We're probably gonna go to the not Underdark.
Okay.
Yes.
Um,
It's complicated.
well, since we're all a little intertwined here, I know Ledric's going to stay here. This is his home after all. But Nightingale, I, and good old Solace are still very much in for helping as much as we can. So if there's anything we can do to help fill up the gaps, as it were, or come along if you need it, let us know.
Well, Saul said he was gonna help us with Is, but if you want to come with us to the Darklands or Absalom, either one, I mean, we like having you around.
Yeah, the plan as of now is to head to Absalom first, sort out some diplomatic relations, gather some support,
Get some science.
yeah, regroup.
Yeah,
in
make
the
picket
circles,
signs.
and then, after that, we're gonna head to the Darklands and deal more hands-on with the Aeon Orb problem.
Hmm.
It's called the Underknot. Thank you.
That's a different game.
I feel like I gotta be honest. It really does feel like, what did they call it? We're starting to become a little significant on the world stage. I get the feeling our enemies aren't going to be just the people we're fighting against, but the people we're trying to help, I mean, but, I get the feeling some more actively opposing forces might soon start showing up, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, the status quo tends to push back.
I wouldn't underestimate, Absalom. They have access to a lot of things, and they have an iron-tight grip on the Pathfinder Society. Don't know why, but they're very attached to this place. Must be the central connection and everything. Point is, once you get out of those Darklands, there's a good chance you're going to be facing off against some real tough nuggets.
Alright. Here's the plan. Go to Absalom, and we introduce the idea of union to everyone.
We unionize the Pathfinders.
We'll be instantly shot by every Abadar agent in town.
The Abadar comes back.
Excuse me, Abadar, did you just send an avatar just to break up a fucking strike?
No, he sent himself. He didn't even send an avatar. He legitimately came down.
Then Saren Rey's like, hey, you calm down there,
Can't do that
bucko.
shit.
Hey, somebody has to give him between two. Hey, calm down, Union lady. Calm down, Union breaker. And then Desna's like, fight.
Just a bucket of popcorn, just eating it.
Come on, old man, you can beat up a young lady.
Let's do this.
I would like to remind you that gods are so big that mountains are like little pebbles to them, so it's just these fuckers standing in the ocean. Oh,
Like they're very carefully trying to not step on Absalom.
don't step on the water, you'll create a tidal wave. Whoops, there goes Cleus.
It's just like a giant hand coming down out of the clouds to like smash the wherever we are, and then a second one, they just slaps it out of the air.
He has to use his pinky finger to crush the whole strike at once.
They end up just getting into a fucking thumb war between divine intervention hands.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Tom War. Oh,
It's the weirdest thing we'll ever see in all of our lives.
well,
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a holy war.
up next is the Darklands, and with it comes the land of the Zolgath. You get to see where they live, what they're like, learn some about their culture, maybe. You can find out some of the origin of the Aeon Orbs, where they are from, and perhaps, with that information, figure out a way to make your own. Or, just recharge the ones you got at least. Maybe give them a little extra supercharge so you can share them.
Also, I'm glad Safi started narrating, or else I almost made just terrible thumb war jokes to follow up on Dizzy.
I do not want to know
Safi
about...
just saved me from myself.
Wasn't it Spy Kids where you had those guys who were all thumbs? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, horrible. That movie creeped me out when I was a kid.
Robert Rodriguez creeps me out.
Because there was like a guy that like grabbed people's heads like clay and then like squished them
Oh
together.
God, yes.
And they could only like speak in gibberish after that, and I was like, that's terrifying.
He's a good guy in the last one.
Why is this in a kids movie?
Yeah, there was a bit of nightmare fuel in the Spy Kids movies.
Yeah.
Gosh. Anyway, here's a very cute possum. Get a load of that possum.
Wow. It's got bonus possums.
Why is there a tool assistant speedrun clip of someone doing the Wii channel? Oh no, they're making Peter.
Of course.
Man, I love pointer in DS games because Tassus can very easily instantly tap anywhere on the screen or move the cursor around very quickly. It's just hilarious to me. To watch a UI go blink, blink, blink. Oh my.
Yeah, here's what happens when we try to unionize.
What the heck?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Slap
Oh,
I knew it was going to be a Sura.
It can only be Asura.
What is this?
I'm more
He's so
upset at the
big.
things Sappy posting.
Can't. It's fucking bowling alley. The funny thing is, I went to the bowling alley recently. They have not changed in 20 years.
Yeah, they're exactly the same.
God, that Asura game is so goofy. It's just a massive QTE.
It is. And that's what I love about it. It just plays into its own abject insanity.
Yeah. You can like press a button and skip a cutscene by just punching the bad guy.
We kill a guy that is that one that Bella posted by punching
Yeah.
through his finger.
Isn't he like one of the first bosses?
He is the easiest boss in the game.
Holy shit, the whole fucking atmosphere lights up. And this one guy with a lot of arms is gonna stop him?
And he does, through rage.
Listen, you gotta understand, if you're mad enough, you could do anything!
Yeah, he's what Kratos wishes he could be.
God, that finger's
Makes you
so
angry to
huge.
die.
Man yells at clouds, and clouds lose.
Clouds lose. Oh man, that fingernail. Oh. What must it be like if you like try to poke a table and you push on an ant and the ant just stops your finger? What would you feel at that moment?
Terror.
Feel.
Abject terror.
There is only one proper emotion there, and it is utter terror.
Then it interjects the fucking thumb scene with him being like, "Oh no, bad things are happening to me." God, this is so dumb. I love it.
Yeah, again, he kills a man by punching through his planet-sized finger.
It gives him an aura, and then a big old falcon punch. Pew.
And this is at Asura's weakest, too. He gets strong.
Oh god, I'm at the part where the finger starts to explode. What the heck? Oh, that is fucking radical, though.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Asura's Wrath is a cutscene.
But it's a good one.
So the game's a QTE, but it's a good QTE because it knows what it's doing.
It's a fun one. It's
It
like,
weighs into it.
I don't know. I like the fact that it's just like, hey, do you just want to do a stupidly powerful fun thing? It's just for kicks. Come on, you know you want. You know you want to play anime
Yeah,
bullshit.
you want to scream and explode literally everything? Do it.
You know you need that anime bullshit. You need that anime bullshit. And then it becomes a
If you-
firework. It's great. Well, as I mentioned, this game is probably going to be on the Claire Day is fucked up on the Wednesdays slot.
Backup.
Once I get some clarity, I'll let you know what might be possible for alternative game times and everything. It'll probably be moved up earlier in the morning by an hour and a half or so to make it fit because
Some clarity.
I'm kind of pissed at this job. It's like, hey, you got to come in a half an hour earlier because you get a half-hour break. And I'm like, cool. That's not what the 8
Yeah,
times 3 thing was about, fucker.
that's not how time works.
So yes,
It's not half an hour off. That's just half an hour of your time that has been moved.
I hate it. I already think that 8-hour workdays are kind of bullshit. But then they're like, no. It's not enough that you're at us for 8 hours. You need to make the full 8 hours, even your lunch break. Jeez, who negotiated this contract? Who was like, you know what? I want to be there half an hour earlier than most jobs. Ugh.
Actually, Steph, you
What-
and I talked in extreme detail about how the 8-hour day is bullshit already.
What gets me about this the most, right? You know when elementary school starts? 9:30. Sorry, 8:30. I forget, in English it's the other way around. 8:30 is when the elementary schools usually start, like 8:30. So your work starts at 8:30. So it doesn't line up
What
as
is
nicely.
your job? You haven't told me yet.
Just some boring data. It's just some data stuff. It sounded fun. Sounded like something that I would enjoy doing for a whole day. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I might end up not liking it. That's the sad part. It's also not a long thing. It's I think it's a contract for like a month. It might be 6 months, depending on how everything goes, how the work flows, and if they like me, etc., etc.
Well, I hope it goes well.
But yes, in the meantime, I guess that's it. Well, on the plus side, it's for the first time a campaign wasn't ended because A, everyone fucking died or hates me or wants me to die, or because I got sick of its shit. It is actually a game that ended because of scheduling, which hasn't happened in years. It happened a lot in the early days because
Mostly fee.
mostly fee. Oh well. Well, honestly, I was partially considering going, hey, how about we cancel both games, put them both on hiatus, and do something else entirely? Because of I I don't know, part of my brain there was a reason in my brain that made. Oh God, I just found it. Oh, that's awesome. So, you know that little. So here's a fun thing, right? I mentioned that module, right, that I'm going to use for Pathfinder for the Sunday quickies, Saturday quickies. This is where that takes place. It's actually on the Galarian map.
Ooh. Raccoon Bay.
I'm like that SpongeBob pointing at the TV, going, "Look, it's you." There I am. Man, this is before Galarian was even a full thing. I mean, I think they had the god names and everything. I think they mentioned Pelor a few times. But this is before they had the iconics worked out when Pathfinder as a system exists. That's just... I love neat lore details like that. They make me go, "Oh!" But yes, part of me was like, put both games on the stopper. I don't know why. I think part of my brain made sense because... What was it again? A part of my brain had a reason why it made sense to do that and start a new game instead.
It's that wiggle corner of your brain that wants to do new things all the time, going, hey, I got an idea for you. You're like, I'm listening.
The funny part is, while I had a good reason and I had an idea as to what to do, I forgot both. So I'm very efficient. Man, I love looking at the map and going, "Oh man, that's Skull's Crossing. That's where you guys fought on a huge skull dam." And that's Kennerbus. City got fucked. Jesus, Dresden is really close to the poles. Holy shit. It's like a little further south than a place called Ice Rift Castle. Ooh. God, it's looking all over the map. It's not a treasure map.
It's a game map.
I like that you have a way deeper cough than Claire has a sneeze.
Yeah. It's...
Tiny bunny goes, "Ooh."
Whoa.
I can't believe Claire gets out coughed by a tiny bunny. And out sneezed by any dog.
Not too.
Every time I look at Krav Maga, I'm like, that sounds like a fighting sport. Because it sounds like Krav Maga, but it's a town of thieves. That's precariously balanced on the water or the cliff, I don't know. But it's like a pentagon, I think? It's a funny shape. Oh, what fucking Shin Shalastas is on this fucking map? What? The spoiler end town is on the big map. Great. Well, anyway. Hope you enjoyed it. Book 4 is closed. Slap. Bloom. You made it to book 4 at the very least before this whole got up, and I'm glad that we got to end it on a book, even if it was a filler book, and who fucking cares.
It's a good little cutting off point.
And next time, when we do get back to this, as mentioned, it'll be interspersed with all kinds of things, or maybe my job will fire me on the first day because I'm a fucking idiot. Can't do anything right. We'll see where we end up. Maybe I will cancel the tournament game. We'll start a new game with blackjacks and hookers. It'll be in Shadowrun, where it makes sense.
Oh no!
I mean, that would make sense in Shadowrun.
Roll 50 d6 to see if you can pee in the toilet.
No!
You rolled a glitch.
I roll. Going down my pant leg.